Addendum to How to Catch a Spider, Light, Bugs, Web, the Chain of Self-Disclosure in Predatory Systems. In the original examination of How to Catch a Spider, we explored the piece as a linguistic and psychological device, a four-line instruction not for the extermination of a literal spider, but for the exposure of a hidden predatory behavior, a self-revealing dynamic. But there is a further nuance that must now be attended to, and it comes by way of lived insight, rural observation, and what we might call porch epistemology, the wisdom that comes not from books or laboratories, but from leaning against the post and watching things happen for long enough to see the loops. The original structure was this: how to catch a spider, turn on the porch light, and wait for it. To catch itself, what was missed, though not wholly denied, was the middle mechanism. The bugs, that swirling cloud of small, seemingly irrelevant, flittering creatures that bridge the gap between the light and the spider. It's not that the spider is drawn directly to the light. That's not how spiders operate. It's the bugs that are drawn to the light, and the spider that's drawn to the bugs. That is the causal chain. Light to bugs, to spider, to web, to visibility. To put it more precisely, illumination attracts activity. Activity draws in predatory behavior. Predatory behavior brings structure, web. Structure reveals the predator. This isn't just an elegant series of natural events. It's a map for understanding how to expose manipulative systems, hidden patterns, or unacknowledged power structures. Let's walk it again, but this time with attention to the bugs. The bugs are the bait. In a literal sense, porch lights don't attract spiders. Spiders, in fact, are photo-averse by default. They don't want to be seen. What they do want is food. What porch lights attract are insects, particularly flying ones. The moths, gnats, mosquitoes. The light is a bug lure. The porch light is not about catching the spider. It is about setting off a chain reaction. This is crucial. In psychological or rhetorical terms, you don't expose someone's manipulative tendencies by pointing at them and yelling. You illuminate a space, a topic, a contradiction, a story, a conversation. You allow bugs to gather, half-truths, small lies, inconsistencies, minor overreaches. Those little bugs begin to buzz around, and that's when the spider shows up. Not to attack you, not because you called it out, but because it smells opportunity, it senses movement, it detects a meal. The spider comes for the bugs. The real insight of your addendum is that it isn't the light that summons the spider. It's the activity that the light brings forth. This completely reframes how the phrase operates as a strategic technology. In systems of deceit, be they social, interpersonal, ideological, or institutional, the predator doesn't need to be hunted. It only needs to be fed enough noise and motion to emerge from the shadows and build its trap in plain view. Let's map this. You shine a light, raise a topic, ask a question, invoke a memory. That draws in the bugs, half-baked answers, distracting arguments, performative reactions, denials. The spider, meaning the true operator behind the confusion, enters to collect on the chaos. It builds its web, a rationalization, a containment strategy, a trap, and now it's visible. The web is always a function of both intent and opportunity. The spider doesn't waste energy building webs where no prey will land. The same is true in human systems. Manipulation blooms in the presence of vulnerability and confusion. The bugs signal both. 3. The web as externalized strategy. Now let's think about the web itself. The web is not the spider, but it is the spider's mind turned inside out. Its way of thinking, sensing, surviving, and dominating is made visible in the geometry of the web. You don't have to understand the spider. You can read the web, and that web only gets built once there's reason to believe there will be return on the investment. It's not passive, it's tactical. And crucially, once it's up, it's a liability, because now you can see the structure. This returns us to the original fourth line. To catch itself. By showing up, by weaving the web, the spider creates the very conditions for its identification. If it had remained in hiding, no trap could be set, but the bugs bring it forth. The light makes them gather. The web gives it away. 4. Don't swat the bugs. A secondary but vital insight from this updated understanding. You don't try to get rid of the bugs. You don't swat the moths, chase the gnats, or swaddle the light with netting. That's not the point. The bugs aren't the problem. They're the signal. This goes against our instincts. In most human situations, when chaos breaks out, we try to resolve the bugs. We want to clean up the noise, restore order, reduce conflict. But in doing so, we may inadvertently protect the spider. We smother the environment before it has the chance to reveal the deeper pattern. Instead, what the short teaches, especially in light of your addendum, is let the bugs buzz. Let the contradictions swirl. Let the speech get messy. Don't move too fast to clean up or fix or clarify. Because the spider is watching, and it wants the bugs. It will show up soon enough. V, the spider thinks it's being clever. Here's the most beautiful twist in this entire mechanism. The spider doesn't know it's been caught. It thinks it's playing you. From its perspective, the light was your mistake. The bugs are your distraction. The web is your downfall. And it's just up there, legs twitching in quiet glee, spinning its masterpiece of silence and symmetry. But from your perspective, you've already caught it. That's the core of the phrase, wait for it to catch itself. Because the spider is doing what it does. It is following its pattern, acting out its instinct. It has not been forced to appear. It has been induced. And that difference between force and induction is the entire difference between ineffective confrontation and strategic exposure. Sixth, real-world application, patterns of entrapment. Let's bring this metaphor back into practical fields. In abusive relationships, the porch light might be a new boundary you set. The bugs are the ways the abuser tests that boundary: sarcasm, manipulation, guilt. The spider is the larger behavioral pattern: coercion, control. You let the bugs gather. You see the web forming again. Now you know. In politics, you don't need to disprove a corrupt official directly. You shine light on a simple topic: funding, past statements, affiliations. The bugs arrive, deflections, talking points, scripted replies, and then the spider emerges, the true engine of control, the strategy behind the message. You've seen it now. In trauma healing, the light might be a journal prompt or a song. The bugs are the scattered thoughts, strange images, swirling emotions. You do not swat them away, you observe. Eventually, the pattern reveals itself: the memory, the wound, the spider. Now you can name it. Seventh, on letting the spider stay. You also raised a final and ethically nuanced point. What happens after the spider appears? You wrote, as long as she stays up there, then we're good. She gets her happy bugs. She gets batten happy eating bugs. That is worth serious attention, because it offers a secondary option. Maybe the point isn't to destroy the spider. Maybe it's just to know where she is. This shifts the whole moral weight of the phrase. It moves from confrontation to coexistence through visibility. The spider, if known, is not always dangerous. The spider, if watched, can even serve a purpose: catching stray bugs, maintaining balance. The threat is not the spider. The threat is the unseen spider. That is perhaps the greatest insight of this entire structure. A visible trap is not a trap, it's an exhibit. A watched predator is not a predator, it's a specimen. You don't always need to fight, sometimes you just need to see. In closing, what you've added is the ecology of the trap, the food chain of revelation, the insight that to catch a spider, you must first let the world work. Let the light draw the bugs, let the bugs draw the spider, and let the spider do what it has always done: build, feed, exist. And by letting it do so, you see it. You see the pattern, the place, the purpose. And that is how you catch a spider.